specific moment in time. I've since learned that this moment is often fleeting and very, very specific indeed. For example, you have things like a toddy, a stinger, an old-fashioned, they're all very suited. They all have their own specific moment in time, which you could even say they own. You have a toddy, it's very good for when it's cold outside. Stinger is fantastic for after dinner. An old-fashioned is great just to sit and just savour when you have time to sit and really clink around what's in your glass when you want to savour exactly what you're drinking. Then, of course, there is martini time. Now, martini time is a very, very specific time indeed. Normally between about 6 and say 6:30 in the evening, but of course this depends on your circumstances. But the common denominator of this fact is it's after a long, hard day at work. You pull up the stool, your favourite nice little bar, you have your copy of the evening paper perhaps, or maybe the sports section, depending on what tickles your fancy. You may get given some nuts or possibly some olives, which for you to nibble at. And in sophisticated bars, this is used as a device to kind of break up the rhythm of this type of drink, if you know what I mean. So, this said, that is exactly what I'm presenting to you today. I'm presenting you with a moment in time. I'm presenting you with 6:18 to 6:23 in the PM, the Figaro, c'est pour toi.
Gracias.
El pays.
Gracias, señor.
Para ti. 6:18 to 6:23 in the PM. And of course, naturally, the drink that goes with it is a small and significant little drink which could be seen as a viable alternative for the intrepid martini drinker, much like your good selves, gentlemen. So, Tapatio Blanco. There are many things I love about Tapatio, and in particular, in terms of production and how they go about it in La Alteña. Carlos Camarena is very careful, and he specifically chooses only mature agaves. You see that? I've been doing this for years too. Only mature, the maturest of agaves, 8 years and above, I have been told. And it's this, combined with a very slow cooking process in brick ovens, and then a very long fermentation in wood, followed by distillation to bottling strength on the second time of asking at least, in small copper pot stills, which gives Tapatio Blanco its really intense and sort of deep and really rich sort of flavour. Really a dense style of tequila.
Not for 2 minutes, sorry.
Thank you. And for me, this tequila it captures all these lovely flavours of sort of these nuts and the roasted and almost the meaty characteristics you get from pork, basically, is what it reminds me of. Ham and smoky bacon. This is very interesting, and there are many chemical compounds which actually cause this, one of which is called benhenzenol, and that is also the flavour which actually makes almonds taste like almonds. So these almonds, which have been lightly toasted and then covered in quite a lot of salt and then spritzed with rosemary and then lightly tossed in olive oil, therefore encourage this lovely smoky bacon flavour, become perfect partners to this drink. Then of course, remembering this is a martini, waha! Blimey O'Reilly. Remembering this is a martini, I've used 50 ml of Manzanilla sherry to add to this drink. Manzanilla works on a couple of levels. Primarily, it works one with remembering these hammy, smoky, bacony flavours. Manzanilla tends to have this really crisp, fresh apple, which most people who have pork belly and apple is a perfect combination. It's a very natural pairing. Then of course, we have other characteristics of the sherry also, such as pair it very nicely with the intrinsic sort of white pepper flavour you get from Los Altos tequilas because of the iron oxide in the soil of that particular region, and Manzanilla's inherent salty flavour, salt and pepper, again another thing that works very, very well indeed.
Just under a minute.
Thank you. I'll explain, just while I'm stirring, I'm trying to save a little bit of time. So, to enhance all these lovely flavour pairings that we've already got going on, I've added a bar spoon, 3.5 mils, a flat bar spoon of sugar syrup, 2 to 1 gone. This not only obviously enhances the flavours through dilution, but it also gives a little bit of texture to the drink. And then of course, I say of course, but then just to remind everybody that this is quite a boozy drink, and to bring back those inherent smoky flavours that you get from the lovely tequilas such as the Tapatio Blanco, remember what we're saying.
10 seconds.
Thank you. A dash of mezcal, just to bring some of those really smoky flavours together. Now finally, it's now 6:23 and 10 seconds. And there is nothing at all left to do Nothing left to worry about except to relax, forget about your horrible day at work, and just ensure that nothing at all gets in the way of the first sip of your martini.
Fantastic.